digestive protection, and the secrets of liver harmony. Disinfection and coordination in the digestive system. A story about the biochemistry of internal cleanliness. In the human body, every organ, every molecule operates according to a strictly debugged scenario, in which there are no accidents or carelessness. One of the most elegant, at first glance, acts of internal coordination is the release of bile, a complex, brightly colored biochemical solution that the liver produces in the mode of continuous care for the purity and efficiency of digestion. Modern biochemistry indicates that bile is not just a liver fluid, but a true guard. It contains pigments, salts, cholesterol, phospholipids, and most importantly, specific bile acids, which, having detergent properties, are able to destroy cell membranes, destroy microbial pathogens, and simultaneously facilitate the emulsification of fats. In a sense, bile is a biologically active poison, but a poison strictly controlled by the very nature of human creation. Its aggressiveness is so great that if bile entered the blood or other tissues outside the digestive tract, it would destroy them, causing inflammation and necrosis. The nature of man's creation has provided a special storage place for bile, the gallbladder. This organ not only accumulates bile produced by the liver, but also concentrates it, increasing the strength of its biochemical effect. At rest, when there is no food in the stomach and intestines, bile is not released unnecessarily, but patiently waits for a signal. When food enters the duodenum, the first section of the small intestine, the receptors of the intestinal wall give a signal, and the gallbladder contracts, throwing out a portion of concentrated bile exactly where it is needed most. One may ask, why did nature choose the path of bile release precisely at the beginning of the small intestine? Why not in the stomach, or, for example, in the distant parts of the intestine, where digestion is already completed? The answer is that it is in the small intestine that the main breakdown and absorption of nutrients occurs. It is here that potential pathogens, viruses, bacteria, fungal spores, can penetrate the walls and enter the bloodstream. Bile acids act not only as emulsifiers for fats, but also as aggressive antiseptics. Their timely release at the beginning of the digestive tract allows pathogens to be deprived of a chance to gain a foothold and multiply. If bile were released only at the end of the digestive tract, for example, into the large intestine, most of the dangerous microbes would have already penetrated the body through the walls of the small intestine. In this case, disinfection would be belated and ineffective. If we imagine the work of the digestive system as a strategic game, then the release of bile at the beginning of the small intestine is a preemptive strike against a potential enemy before it can penetrate into the depths of the body. This solution is so rational that it is amazing how the nature of human creation was able to predict different scenarios for the penetration of microbes and provide for appropriate defense mechanisms. Theoretically, if bile were released only at the end of the digestive tract, its effectiveness would be significantly lower. In the large intestine, food has already been processed, nutrients have been absorbed, and pathogens could easily penetrate inside. In addition, other microbial communities predominate in the large intestine, and the aggressive effect of bile could disrupt their balance, leading to inflammation and dysbacteriosis. Bile acids have a pronounced antimicrobial effect. They have a destructive effect on bacterial and fungal cells, disrupting the integrity of membranes and preventing them from attaching to the epithelium. In combination with other components of intestinal juice, bile creates an aggressive environment unsuitable for most pathogens. In the nature of human creation, a precise dosage system has been developed. Bile is not ejected in one go, but is supplied in portions, depending on the composition and volume of food. Fatty foods require a larger volume of bile, and therefore a greater antiseptic effect. After all, fats serve as the best environment for the growth of a number of microbes. It is remarkable that bile acts selectively. It suppresses pathogens, but does not destroy beneficial bacteria living in symbiosis with the human body. Intestinal microbiota is resistant to bile acids. This is how a balance is achieved between protection and support of one's own army of beneficial microorganisms. In addition to antiseptic functions, bile acids also serve as chemical signals that regulate the work of other parts of the digestive tract. They stimulate the production of pancreatic enzymes, activate peristalsis, control the speed of movement of the food bolus, preventing stagnation and fermentation. The release of bile through the gallbladder to the beginning of the small intestine is not an accidental feature, but the result of fine-tuning and the wisdom of nature in creating man. Bile is a liver poison, skillfully transformed into a medicine for the body's defense, acting where its action is most needed, at the border between the external world and the internal environment. The mechanism of such border disinfection is an example of the surprisingly rational and reasonable approach of the nature of human creation to ensuring the safety and efficiency of digestion. This mechanism displays not only biochemical elegance, but also the highest form of creation, concern that the enemy does not penetrate even one step further than the security system allows, and the body's own forces remain unharmed and ready for new tests. The liver, a majestic organ that performs hundreds of functions, like a conductor, controls the flow of substances, distributes energy, and ensures that not a single molecule is wasted in vain. It can only be compared to an alchemist's workshop, where each element is acquired and transformed for the benefit of the entire organism. Bile is born in the biochemical depths of the liver, a liquid that is so important for the breakdown and absorption of fats, neutralization of toxins, and maintenance of acid-base balance. The liver's work requires impeccable coordination. Hepatocyte cells synthesize and modify components, form bile acids, the pigment bilirubin, and many other molecules, thanks to which food turns into a source of energy. However, the modern lifestyle, excessive amounts of fats, toxins, alcohol, and medications, as well as chronic stress, can easily shake this fragile balance. The liver begins to suffer from overload, microcirculation is disrupted, detoxification slows down, and even the process of bile formation becomes less effective. To maintain harmony, the organ needs help, and this is where Rambam's mixture comes into play. An ancient recipe attributed to the great thinker and physician of the 12th century, Moshe ben Maimon, Rambam, is a unique combination of plant extracts and minerals, harmonized to enhance the natural mechanisms of cleansing and restoring the liver. Rambam himself believed that health begins with balance and internal purity, and medicines should help the body realize its own potential. As a result of using Rambam's mixture, not only the functioning of the liver itself improves, the well-being of the entire body changes. People experience fewer manifestations of chronic fatigue, normalize metabolic processes, improve the quality of the skin, and reduce the risk of developing allergic reactions. Digestion is optimized, heaviness and discomfort after eating fatty foods disappear, and the absorption of vitamins and microelements improves. The body seems to return to its natural state of internal purity, where the liver plays the role of a central filter, harmoniously combining biochemistry and physiology. Rambam's idea of the unity of body, mind, and spirit is still relevant today. His mixture is not just a collection of medicinal plants, but an example of how deep knowledge of nature helps to create solutions that can support health at the cellular level. In the era of synthetic pharmacology, the mixture is once again becoming a bridge between the wisdom of the past and the needs of the future. Modern scientific approaches give hope for the creation of new formulas based on the principles of harmonization and support of internal regeneration mechanisms. The liver, being an organ with a unique ability to recover, gratefully responds to care and support, and Rambam's mixture becomes a symbol of a wise dialogue between medicine and biochemistry. Rambam's mixture is an example of how art and science can unite for the benefit of human health. It not only improves liver function, but also harmonizes the entire body, allowing it to live in harmony with itself. The release of bile is only one of millions of acts of internal coordination, but it is precisely this that reminds us of the need for careful treatment. In the classic version, the mixture includes extracts of milk thistle, dandelion, turmeric, licorice root, as well as small amounts of magnesium and selenium. Each component has its own biochemical role. A milk thistle contains silymarin, which protects hepatocytes from destruction and stimulates their restoration. A dandelion, rich in substances that enhance bile formation and promote the elimination of toxins. A turmeric has pronounced anti-inflammatory properties, activating the antioxidant protection of the liver. A licorice root helps regulate the immune response and improve microcirculation in the liver tissue. A magnesium and selenium are important for the functioning of enzymes involved in detoxification processes and the synthesis of bile acids. When the mixture enters the bloodstream, the active substances begin to interact with liver cells. Silymarin acts as a shield, reducing the penetration of toxins and enhancing the synthesis of proteins necessary for the restoration of damaged membranes. Curcumin and dandelion flavonoids stimulate the expression of genes responsible for the production of antioxidant enzymes and activate the process of autophagy, the cleaning up of cellular debris. Selenium and magnesium, albeit in small quantities, act as catalysts for complex reactions. They accelerate the conversion of harmful substances into harmless compounds that are easily excreted with bile. Licorice root normalizes blood supply to the liver, helps reduce inflammation and prevents fibrosis, the dangerous proliferation of connective tissue.